Hey everybody, Gabriel here. Um, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about songwriting, and this is a song that I wrote a few years ago. This one's called "Crying Shame," and I've had people ask me if it's about a specific person. It's not. It's just I was listening to some old school R&B, some old soul music from like the mid to late 70s, and I was really enjoying it, and I was like, man, I just love this music, and I just really wanted to write something similar to that. So for me, it's about kind of capturing like the vibe of what you're going for, right? But then also using that to inform the lyrics. And a lot of times I'll write lyrics that maybe don't have anything to do with what I'm really going for, but they have the right sound, because every word has its own shape, its own form, and it's about finding the words that have the right shape and sound to fit in that pocket. So I just started off with that melody. I just started with that. Let's hear the. Right? So I got that little bass. Now I've got a melody I'm happy with, right? At least the verse, like the main part, right? I feel like that's good. And then it's a matter of finding a place where it changes. And like, where does it change to? And there's so many options right now. I'm playing. I mean, the guitar's dropped a whole step. So when I say I'm playing E minor, I'm actually playing D minor. But that's just for you musicians out there who are interested. Or if you're tone true and you know that when I say E minor, you're like, that's not E minor, that's D minor. It sounds like D minor. I'm not that good. But where does it go? There's so many options to go from. And I struggled with it at first, and I couldn't figure out where to go next. But then I decided just to drop down to A minor. And stop. And I want to wrap it up and bring it back, so I just go up to the C. Some sort of a B suspended. Back to the E minor. And then it was a matter of the lyrics. And the melody, the main melody, is already contained in the guitar part, right? That. And then for me, I don't know how other artists do it, but like for me, I think about if the guitar or the piano or whatever is carrying that main melody line, I want my voice to be like a lead over the top of it, and not something crazy scale. It doesn't have to be crazy scales, but just a complementary melody that then becomes part of the core. So if I was an instrument in this, I imagine it would just be some reverby, little bit of distortion, blues guitar kind of in the background. Right, that's what I'm hearing. That's one possible. So then I just take that melody line and plug in the sounds, the shapes that I want. Right. nonsense words, right? So then I think about what words fit into those shapes. Well, I'm crazy for wanting you, 'cause I know how you play the game. You're playing games. It would change if you wanted to. It's a lonely game. It's a crying shame. Well, I'm just a man with my heart in my hand, like a dog without a bone, or a boy far from home. And I know it's your way. I can ask you to stay, but it won't change my mind. Wanna make you mine. Back to the beginning. Will you call me? So on and so forth, right? So I think a lot of people will, and sometimes I'll start off with certain words. Like there's like a line in a song that I wrote. It was off my second album called Around the Sun, and I had received a birthday card from a friend of mine who was also in the band, a bass player, Hondo Bull, and in his card, it was my 23rd birthday, and he was like, "Happy 23rd time around the sun." And I loved that line. And so I ended up writing a song called Around the Sun. And one of the lyrics in the song that I like started off with was 23 times around the sun. And the whole song was built around those lyrics, well, just being able to use those lyrics. So occasionally that happens. But I think more often when you're writing a song, it's a vibe or a feeling or a message you want to get across. With me, this particular song, Crying Shame, it started off with just a vibe. I just wanted to be able to create that chill but like cool groove and like 70s R&B feel that I think repeats in so much of like 90s R&B stuff, and in which I've had several people ask me like, "Who does that song? I love that song." And I'm like, "I wrote that song." And they're like, "Oh my God, it sounds so much like," but they can't really place it because it's I feel like it's successful in that way, in that I captured the feeling of what I really wanted to put out there, what I really wanted to produce. And then when you're starting with that, I think it gives you a lot more leeway, because then, like I said, I just take the groove, the melody, and I think of a melody line that complements that, like a lead guitar or like a trumpet or a saxophone or something, right? Whatever the instrument is. And you do that lead line, you create that, and you create the space for the lyrics. Don't worry about what they are yet. And then fill in those gaps like as you feel them or as they occur to you, you know. And sometimes you'll go back through and write a song. I've done this many times. You write a song and then you're just like, it just feels, the lyrics feel cheesy and forced. And sometimes it's about not being specific about what you're writing about. Like, try to keep things vague so the audience or whoever, that the listener can create those pictures and fill in the blanks. There's a lot of assumption that happens within the song, and I think that's actually better than being literal and specific with all of your lyrics in many cases, because you're creating room for the listener to create their own meaning. Even if the words, there's been times when I've written songs and the lyrics are literally nonsense to me when I write them, like it doesn't really mean anything, it's just a collection of words. And then the more I hear it, my own mind starts to create meaning and memories and storyline behind that, so it makes sense, because we love patterns. We're creatures of pattern. We find patterns and things of meaning. And people will do that. And people have come up to me and been like, "Oh, I love that song about, you know, whatever it is, you know, fill in the blank." And they'll have a very specific kind of theme or story in mind, and it's something that never occurred to me and that doesn't actually exist in the writing, you know, to my knowledge. But I love that because it kind of takes on a life of its own. It's cool. So it's been almost 10 minutes now. I just thought I'd share some of my process with you guys. Hope you enjoy it. And I always love answering questions regarding songwriting, and whether it's my material or just talking about music in general. So feel free to, you know, send me that kind of stuff. I'm always looking for what sort of media and what sort of posts and information and content you guys would be interested in seeing from me. So yeah, let me know in the comments. And this was fun. We'll have to do this again sometime.